Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Livingston versus Snyder.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Ms. Livingston, you previously appeared in this court to prove one man was your child's father, only to be proved wrong. You've returned with another case. You admit you made one big mistake, and now your ex is denying your 5-month-old daughter, Emma Lynn. You hope the DNA results save your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Snyder, you say the plaintiff is a self-admitted cheater whose ever-changing story about the paternity of her daughter proves you are not the biological father. And you have evidence to support these claims. Is that correct?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Livingston, why are today's results so important to your relationship?
Because it's everything. Everything hangs in the balance. Us being a family, everything. He said he'll go back to Ohio if he's not the father, if the DNA results come back that it's not his.
You going back to Ohio, Mr. Snyder?
Yes, Your Honor. If the child's not mine, why be there for a child that's not mine?
And so the stakes are high.
I love Mr. Snyder, and I have for a long time, and I know I made a mistake. But it doesn't mean that our daughter should have to suffer for that, because I grew up without both my parents, and I never wanted that for any of my kids. And he's promised that he wouldn't leave me a single mom of 3, and here I am.
And you're scared.
I'm really scared.
Should have never lied to me.
I know that. I shouldn't have lied, but I did.
So, Mr. Snyder, as you look at Emma Lynn, what do you think? Do you have doubts when you look at her?
Yeah, she put the doubts in my head, saying I wasn't the father, but I just hope, because that would be my first child. And I always wanted a girl.
Oh.
She ended up being a girl.
And he told me she was going to be a girl when I told him I was pregnant.
And so,
He
Ms.
straight up
Livingston,
said it's a girl.
he already knew.
He already knew.
And this is just breaking your heart.
Because I was stupid. I was angry and I was pregnant and hormonal and I was stupid.
And so, Mr. Snyder, at what point did you start thinking, I think she's cheating on me?
One night, I was sleeping, and I just went through her phone and saw a message from a guy.
Really?
Yes.
What did the message say?
He wanted to meet up with her and have sex.
Now that's a message.
Yep.
So you see a message, someone propositioning sex to your girlfriend?
Mm-hmm. And there was no, like, I'm with a guy right now. There's, like, no to it. It was just, I want to have sex. Where you at?
All right. So do you have any evidence of that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
May I see it, please?
Yes, you may. There you go.
So this is the evidence. You see a message that says, wanted to ask if I could do you doggy style. Oh.
Yep.
And then you see this message after that. What hotel you staying at? Ms. Livingston, I'm staying at the blank inn, the X. You alone?
Right? Like, why are you going to tell him where exactly you're at? If you don't plan on doing anything.
So why is he asking to do you doggy style is the first thing. I mean,
Because
listen, where you at is the least of our worries in this text message.
he had a phone that I had been trying to get, and he told me the only way I was going to get it is if I would let him do me doggy style. And he was trying to proposition me to get my phone back. And
Did you ever get the phone?
no, I never did because I never gave in to him. I said no. And when he asked me if I was alone,
I don't see you
told him,
saying no.
no, it's not all the messages either. When he asked me if I was alone, I told him no, that my boyfriend would be there.
But there's no boyfriend or girlfriend on the planet Earth that wants to know that their partner's ex is sending them this kind of message.
I told him that he sends me those kind of messages all the time.
So, Mr. Snyder,
He's still trying to get with me.
soon after this, you find out
And
Miss
it's
Livingston
still
is
not happening.
pregnant. When you find out she's pregnant, what happens?
We get in a big argument, and she breaks up with me and disappears. out of my life. So I'm like, what happened? It's not mine? Is she with someone else?
Where'd you go, Miss Livingston?
So I did not break up with him, first of all. I was staying with a friend the night before, and I had lost my phone at that friend's house. She took me back to my apartment after I sat waiting for him because he told me, I'll be there. And I'm sitting there in the freezing rain waiting on him. He never shows up. So that friend shows up to take me back to my apartment. I still did not have my phone. But that night, she messaged him from my phone and told him that I was breaking up with him. But she pretending to be me and broke up with him for me. I didn't even know until the 3 months later when I finally got a phone. And he told me, well, I'm with somebody else now. And I was like, you're cheating on me? And he's like, no, you broke up with me. So I found somebody new.
But I don't understand. Okay, even if she sends the text message pretending it's you and he gets it, why is it you don't ever call him?
Because I didn't have a phone until I got back to my mom and she was able to get me. I moved home back to Colorado.
They don't have payphones anymore? I don't know. I mean,
No, not really.
When you're pregnant with somebody's baby, you got to get in touch with them any way you can.
Right? She knew where I worked.
He didn't have a phone.
That's when you wait outside in the rain because I don't have no phone. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. At some point, you reconnect. What happens with that? How do you reconnect?
I messaged him on Facebook when I was really far along. I was getting ready to have her, actually. I think
Did you get that message, Mr. Snyder?
Yep.
When you got that message, what happened?
She told me I wasn't the father, that she slept with someone else.
I said, I was like, well, I've cheated on you, so you may be the father, you may not. You'll never know.
I have evidence on that.
Oh, you do?
And that's what
I'd like to see that evidence.
Verbatim, I think. I said it because I was hurt.
So, Mr. Snyder, you say you have evidence of a text exchange. Ms. Livingston says, besides, I slept with someone else, maybe she isn't yours. And you say, figured. And Ms. Livingston says, you will never know. And then you write back, then don't put my blank on that birth certificate. And then Ms. Livingston, you say, I'm not.
And I didn't either.
This is a little bit further than just in your feelings. I mean, this is mean.
Only because I was so hurt. The fact that he was with somebody else and he had promised me, he had made me the promise that I would not be a single mom of 3.
You were gone for 3 months. Did you go back and be with the real father?
No, I didn't, because you're the father. I haven't been with anybody in a year and a half except for you.
That's not what this says.
Well, the test is going to tell you otherwise.
So, Mr. Snyder, you felt like when she disappeared for those 3 months that she had gone on.
Right? She could have moved on with the real father. Or
and after getting those text messages, you felt like that's where she went back to.
Yep.
If you understood the whole situation, you would get it, but you don't, so it's okay.
I got together with someone that was younger than
Well,
But
actually, I do understand the situation. I understand that you all got into a very rocky part of your relationship.
And somebody took...
And then you start sending messages, which is contrary to any mother's best interest. Because the moment you ring the bell of, I slept with somebody else and maybe she isn't yours, it's a wrap for a man.
I figured I was going to raise her on my own anyways. I didn't want him to step in and try and take over if he was going to be in with somebody else. I didn't want some other girl trying to play mommy to my baby. That is where that came in. That was my mommy instinct kicking in. I didn't want somebody else to take over my role as mom. I didn't want somebody else trying to play house and play mommy with my baby.
Okay. Yeah. I won't go into a class on mommy instincts, but mommy instincts aren't about being jealous of your ex moving on with another woman. Mommy instincts are about making sure your child is taken care of and knows their father, which I will say your mommy instincts, that's what brought you here today. That's what I want to focus on. So at this point, Mr. Snyder, you're thinking what? I am not the father?
Yeah, that I'm not the father and that one of those guys messaging her is. Because she obviously wanted to know what hotel she was staying in.
And so after you send this message, does the message work, Miss Livingston? Does he totally?
I blocked him after that.
Then you block him.
I blocked him out of my life completely. I didn't speak to him until I was 7 months pregnant.
And then how did you reconnect again?
I messaged him on Facebook. I unblocked him and messaged him, and I told him that I was wrong, that I shouldn't have said what I said, and that he was the father, that I never cheated. And everything that had happened from the moment that I stopped talking to him till that moment, I sent him all my pregnancy pictures, all of the updates. I sent him everything.
She didn't even look like
happened.
me when she was born.
And so, Mr. Snyder, you say after that point when she messages you again, you still were having doubts.
Oh yeah. She
And
planted
so
that
when you got that message, what were you thinking? What were you feeling?
anger, because she planted that seed of doubt in my head that she slept with someone else and the child wouldn't be mine.
So when she said, I'm sorry, I was lying, I was just angry, I shouldn't have done that, did you believe her?
No, definitely not. I did not believe her. How is she going to tell me that she slept with someone else and that it's not going to be my child? And then believe that. And then she come back and say, oh, it is your child. Like.
So Emma Lynn's 4 months old.
Almost 5 months.
And you have a relationship with her or not?
I do. It's bumpy because I still have that doubt in my head that she isn't mine. But I'm hoping she is because she's a little girl and I wanted a little girl. And
she looks just like him. I'm sorry, but she looks just like him. We have other pictures that show that she looks just like him. She has his ear, okay? He has an ear that has a bent down in there, and it looks like a little elf ear. It's pointed. She's got the same ear on the same side.
It's a baby face.
And she's got the nasally stuff that he's got going on
She
when
can
he
look like
sleeps.
anyone.
Okay, but that ear, no. And the dimples, when she smiles,
You have
they've got
dimples?
the same dimples. No.
So
they're
you're
picture
convinced,
proof.
you're convinced, Miss Livingston.
I'm convinced
that this
I know
is
the
his
exact
child.
day that my daughter was conceived. The exact day.
Now,
Good.
which day is
I would
that?
hope so.
On July 25th. And
Okay.
the only person that I slept with on that day, because I was working and I left my job and had sex with him in the back of my work van, is Mr. Snyder.
What company is that? Okay.
I've been with nobody else since me and him met.
Okay, since
So that's how
you met.
Since we've met. Since April
But you don't believe that?
2017, I have slept with nobody but this man. Nobody.
And it
Not
makes
what
you
your
so
text said.
emotional. Why?
Because I love him.
Not what your text said.
No, I didn't say that I slept with him. He was asking me for sex. Doesn't mean I actually did it.
Actually, you did say
No,
you slept with
it
someone
doesn't.
else.
No, I did in that text, yeah, because you hurt me.
Okay, so the bottom line is, Ms. Livingston, you're saying you know for certain. But Mr. Snyder, you still are very doubtful, and I can see that in your face and your body language.
I've been cheated on many times. Many, many times. So I wouldn't doubt it from another one.
He told me that if it comes out that she is his, we're gonna be a family again. That is why this rides on this, because he told me that if she's his, that we were gonna work things out and that we were gonna be happy. And I want that because he moved in with me. We live together right now. We've been living together since May 27th.
And that's why so
2018.
much is at stake, because if Emma Lynn is not Mr. Snyder's
ruined my
biological
life.
child, you're
She is
going
not
on with
my
your life.
child. I ruined my life.
And he's going back to Ohio.
All right. Jerome, I know you're ready for the
I'm
result.
ready.
So am I. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Livingston versus Snyder, when it comes to 5-month-old Emma Lynn Livingston, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Snyder, you are the father. You are the father. You are Emma Lynn's daddy.
Good.
I never cheated.
I don't gotta book a ticket tomorrow.
You don't have to book a ticket now?
No,
Nope.
you don't have to. I
Good.
would like to marry Mr. Snyder.
going to take some time.
I understand that. I mean, we have to date again.
Well, is there
Someday
something
I
you'd
want-
like to say to Mr. Snyder after all of this is said and done?
I'm sorry I lied to you.
Should have just been straightforward with me.
But
We
it
wouldn't be
hurt.
here.
It hurt so bad. And I'm sorry that I lied. But I never did cheat on you, and I never did let him in my hotel room.
So listen,
Never.
let's focus on the present and the future. I hope that you all can begin to parent Emmeline together. Mr. Snyder has indicated that it's going to take some time. We know that you want to marry Mr. Snyder.
I know, but we can date again and
listen,
get to know each other again.
Girl, if you don't close your mouth. Woo-wee.
That's one problem I have.
Bless her heart, though, but just breathe. Breathe. This is a lesson learned for you. Because lying and creating stories just to hurt people ends up coming back to hurt.
Not only me, but it hurt my baby.
That's right. Tell the truth. Be honest. Be a great mother. And it is my hope that it works out for you all because you have a beautiful, beautiful little girl. And I want her to have both of you all as well, okay? I wish you all the very, very best. Court is adjourned.